This is episode 79 of the Super Parent Syndrome, and I am your host, Dr. Nick Fanning. I want you to sit back and relax because we're going to talk about confusion versus clarity. All right, let's get started.
Parenting in the 21st century is ever evolving, and while you balance work, kids, and your sanity, it's easy to feel discouraged. Welcome to the Super Parent Syndrome with your host, Dr. Nick Fanning.
So here's the blunt reality of it. When we exist in a world of maybes or in a world of confusion, a lot of fear can result. Meaning, if you don't really know the answer and you're just going to assume what the answer is, you're living in fear. You're actually living in self-doubt because sometimes, yes, you're going to live with the assumption that things are going to work out or things are going to be the opposite right way. But most often we're existing in a manner where we don't believe that something will actually happen, that something is actually going to turn out for the worse, or that we have fear and doubt and uncertainty about what the reality truly is. And therefore, that's where dreams die. That's where we don't have the confidence to move forward. I implore you, dear listener, that instead of living in this farce of confusion and uncertainty, that you ask the questions that would bring you clarity. It only usually takes questions, asking the right person. In fact, I was just kind of I was shown this to me in several different ways. One way was just feeling undesirable one day. Honestly, I was just kind of down in the dumps, and I was just kind of home humming, and it really just came down to like, man, I don't even think my wife, wants me right now, or it doesn't even desire me. And so, basically it came down to like, the voice told me like, well, maybe you should ask. And so I just basically asked, I was like, hon, we just haven't been connecting today. We haven't been holding hands. We haven't gotten the kisses in. I mean, is there something I did wrong? Am I just, don't have that extra sexiness factor? Are you just not feeling it today? And she really just comes up today and she's like, I didn't even notice. I've been really busy thinking about the house. And it's so funny that if I had not asked that, I wonder how long that story would have propagated. If I would have continued beating myself up for, if I would have continued just coming down to the fact of saying like, oh gosh, well, this is going to be another one of those dry, those nights where, there's going to be no sexy time happen or anything like that, where I'm not maybe getting my cup filled because I was really more convinced me than her that I was undesirable. And it comes down to also other things too. So like, I was even considering, we're looking at purchasing a home. And one of those things is that, it came down to like, gosh, I've had so many financial issues in the past, that kind of knee-jerk reaction. I was like, oh, gosh, can I really do this right now? Can I invest in something like this? And it comes down to like, when I really looked at the facts, I was like, honestly, we're going to pay less than rent and a few other factors than we would on this house. And so it actually is a smarter move for that. And this house is, a lot more, they gave us, they came down on their price for us for this. And so that's even more, affordable. And so I was like, gosh, maybe, it really comes out as like, can I not afford to use this? Because this is a good use of our funds to build some assets or some long-term longevity here. And this could actually be good for my wife's, and my, mental aspect of having a home, having something secure and stable versus renting all the time. And so that was one of those things that until we actually looked at the figures, looked at the facts, you don't know. And so therefore, right now, instead of living in fear, I'm asking the bank, I'm asking Rocket Mortgage from Quicken, is this a good investment? I'm asking my dad, who's a banker, is this a good investment? Is this a good use of our funds that we have? And so instead of living in that land of confusion or uncertainty, it just often takes the leap or that jump of asking the right person the right question to bring clarity. And this can be a lot of different things. It could be one of those things where you might be struggling with something with your health, and you might need to ask somebody like me if your body is as healthy as you think it is, or if you're kind of worried about certain things. This could be taking a lot of energy, both physical energy, but also mental clarity and energy, wondering truly, are you healthy, or there's something seriously wrong with you? And one of those things that maybe will get better someday, maybe that kind of script's running in your head. Well, there's also the question, maybe it won't. And why are you waiting? Okay. It could be as far as spirituality or even your relationships, asking the wife or your husband those questions of, hey, where do I stand? If you had to give me a letter grade, where am I doing as far as being a parent or being a spouse? And is this honest? Or are you just trying to, give me lip service? What could I do better as a lover? What could I do better as, your boyfriend or girlfriend, or even just a best friend? Where can I be with this? And then, asking those people too as well. How would you grade me as being a parent of our children? Especially with my oldest or youngest or middle child. Where do I lie on those? Instead of laying in that uncertainty, you have some certain answers. You may not like them at first, But once you have that clarity of where you are, just like setting a GPS, you can set where you're going to go. So dear listener, that's your homework. Get a grades. Ask those questions. And then I would love to hear, you can just private message me or something like that so you can understand. Like, just let me know, hey, did you actually use this? And where did you defeat the fear of uncertainty or that fear of the maybe land versus getting into, getting the certainty of and away from that confusion? So that's your homework. This is Dr. Nick Fanning, and I'm signing off.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Super Parent Syndrome. Please be sure to visit peptalksforparents.com for more content and our free newsletter. And remember, you are not alone.